Hello, my name is Carlota Fernandez.
I'm Mishka.
I'm Owen.
I'm Harpriya.
My name is Ethan Doyle.
Abby Ramirez.
My name is Vasily.
I'm from Spain.
Slovakia.
I'm from Taiwan.
I'm from India.
I'm from America.
California in America.
I'm from Ukraine.
Yeah, I would say that I have happy memories when I would travel on the summer with my family to different countries.
I think smells really evoke my happy memories. I think most of the time it's the moist smell of Taiwan, which is a lot of related to nature, or even after class when you walk back home you can smell someone cooking.
I wasn't my happiest at school.
I think after school, after classes ended, was a fun period to just interact with my friends, and so it was nice and playing around. We had sports, activities, art, craft.
During the art class session, when I could just paint, even though I'm terrible at it. Just paint whatever without judgment.
I'll say after submissions, that's for sure. After you submit, you just feel like that's it. You're finished. You can relax. I guess that's probably the best feeling about school.
I grew up and studied in South America, in Lima, Peru. It was traditional in the sense of the reading and writing. It was very textbook, you'd have to fill in through a textbook, and there was always these books they'd give you and stuff like that.
Definitely traditional, yeah. Yeah, we were just, like I said, copying into our textbooks or reading from our textbooks. The learning was much about memorizing, so just the night before or the week before an exam I just tried to remember everything, memorize everything for a specific exam, and then I just forgot it.
I would say traditional, just because it was always focused on specific subject matter and on grades and doing well, and not really are you retaining information, what are you actually learning and getting out of this. It was more you do it because you do it right and you get the good grade for it. But it always ended up going back to just reading, writing, static learning, like that.
Yeah.
I'll say modern, because I got lucky enough to go to school here in England, and here we had an option of choosing some subjects. So I did choose graphic design, and I chose product design as well. So those two were probably the out of ordinary subjects compared to history, English, science.
I think it's in between, where Taiwanese education system is trying to accommodate to a modern style, but at the same time the really old ideology and ethics was so deeply inherited.
Definitely traditional. That has written writing and coursework, bookwork. It's not, you're not thinking much. Mm-hmm. It's all about reading, learning, and just spitting it all out in your exam.
My school was definitely traditional. Yeah, I guess maybe now in Spain things are changing a little bit, but when I was studying, it was mostly they give you a text, you memorize, you say it in the exam, you write it down, and that's it. It was very much of reading, writing. I guess it depends on the year, but I would say that, yeah, I was a good student.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think I'm a good student because I think through this system I am able to get confidence because I know how to study to get good grades in that sense. So I think in this system I benefit.
Not in the beginning. I used to get average grades and everything, and I didn't even make an effort because it was very difficult to learn, and I couldn't remember everything.
I'll say yes. In terms of grades, not as I'd like to be, but I was fairly an okay student. I was a good student.
I like to say I was.
Well, depends how you look at it. Good in what terms? Good in terms of grades or good in terms of behavior?
Definitely. I think I did have art as a subject later on, so I did enjoy it, but even within art, it was very restrictive. Like we could only practice still life painting and composition painting, and that was our course, and we had to give exams on that.
I would say not particularly, because I still wanted to have a life. And considering that I already had two creative subjects, which were, one was 100% coursework and the other was 60% coursework, I didn't really have much time to do anything else, I think.
I didn't really know, I didn't think about it, because I didn't really know if there is an option of other way of learning or more things to do. But I always had a lot of things going on after my school day, so I had art classes after, so that kept me busy.
Yes, but I think I got more than I hoped. I think I got too much instead of the just right amount. When I hit high school, I started doing a bit more creative subjects, and I think should have toned it down a little bit, but yeah.
I actually didn't, just because they did do in my schools growing up, a good mix, intertwining artistic projects into, for example, my English classes. We would do posters intertwined with books and essays and stuff. And we would always have time for art classes and painting.
Wow.
So I think my schools did a pretty good job with that.
My school at least didn't offer anything creative. So some subjects you weren't really interested, but that's the only option. So I guess I didn't really like school. I would say that the most creative subject in my school was art history, which you learn about art, but
you're not actually making art.
Yeah, but that was the most creative. So yeah.
Yeah, because I think we only have one session out of 8 sessions a day. We only have one session a week of art classes, and usually it's borrowed by another Chinese class or something, so there's usually no art classes.
Yes, very much so. I think being surrounded by a lot of creative students, I got told I am creative, and in comparison to people, in my life or my family, I am creative. But then when I come here to uni, I see that people are creative in a lot more broader ways or different ways, and in comparison to someone else, I feel I am not creative at all. So it is making me doubt whether I've got what it takes.
Even in art school, it's quite sad. I feel quite sad, and then I don't know if I'm creative or not. I really question my capability, and if I even am meant to be in this field, and that's why it makes me think oh, maybe I should have done something else. I could have followed the guidelines and written and learned, and then
Yeah, back to that one. Yeah.
Yes, personally, because of my lack to really dive into them or use them as much as I really should, or update them in a way, so really develop them.
Yeah, every single day also, because I don't know, doing art, it's complicated for me. I feel this has been done, and I am plagiarizing and things like that. It's always I think imposter syndrome. Do you call it like that? So yeah.
Yeah, I think imposter syndrome is real. So
everyone is saying this.
Yeah, so especially under this new digital age, comparing yourself to others is so easy, and so just be confident, they say. But
isn't that the whole point of being creative? To doubt yourself. You look at your work and you think, okay, is it really good, or am I just being biased? It's always in my head when I look at my work. I always think it's shit. I'll be honest, I always think it's shit. Sometimes someone will look at it and say it's amazing, I'll just think it's shit. So I guess I got this critical thinking in myself.
Yes, actually. Yeah, I have. Recently as well. Not that I will do it, but yeah, I did, because part of me thought that it might not be the right path, but at the same time, there is a lot of good things that have come from this sort of transition?
All the time. All the time.
Why?
It just gets so competitive, and just you compare yourself an insane amount. And especially being here where it's like a specific like school for creative students, and when you're surrounded by everyone in the arts, you just feel like I don't belong here. Like, why am I here when there's other people that obviously belong here and they've made their way?
100%. If someone came up to me tomorrow and offered me a job with high stakes, I'll take it.
Sometimes, because sometimes I feel like there's this notion that it's not very successful in monetary sense.
Not really. I think, like for me, I it's my whole life. Like even when I'm not like doing work, studying, I'm doing creative stuff. So like I think it's a hard thing to like, you know, separate from myself.
I have every single day. It's like I mentioned before, I'm not really sure that graphic design is my calling. Like I like it, but I'm also really interested in crafts and like textiles. So
Yes. Today and yesterday.
I don't really know what I would change. Like now being in England, I can see like the way we learn and the way people are trying to teach us is very, very different, very more independent and broad.
I think I did not necessarily like I don't think I have learned per se, like I don't remember anything that I learned in political science now, like because it was so book-wise, like it was followed every word to word. If it was more logical and rational, I think I would have enjoyed it more. Like if it made me think and made me give my opinion instead of just making me learn whatever they were saying, like somebody else's words were supposed to be my ideology.
From the system itself, I think just don't let the students blend so much in the background. My school was always packed with like 40-something kids in one room, that you could never do one-on-one, you could never focus on certain kids, everyone was always getting overlooked. And they would just, if you didn't talk, I was super shy. As much as I loved being around people, I didn't like speaking up. I was shy. So I receded into the background and kind of was left alone. And I wish they could have kind of put more attention on each individual student.
oh, if I could, I would like introduce more activities where you have to like do practical stuff and more like group work and creative subjects, because yeah, I think those are like what actually make you learn, you know?
I think just like really like incorporating like design thinking, because it's not in any school that I had been to, and also like critical thinking theory probably. Like we're always told to be critical, consuming media and stuff in textbooks, you know, but we are never actually taught how to be critical.
I think that there should be more focus on people who do struggle, because I was lucky enough not to struggle, because the way I work is just very like, you know, I cannot not do work, so I have to. Like it's that kind of mindset that I have. And a lot of people don't have that mindset, but they really want to make it. So they don't get noticed a lot at school. So it's like, I would change maybe the approach, because for some people it was difficult.
Yeah.
I was just lucky that it wasn't difficult for me. That's the thing I would change for sure. Educational approach.
I don't know, somewhere doing something creative, probably managing. I like working with people and I like managing a lot. And yeah, just doing something with the team of creatives.
It's going to sound so bad, but hopefully alive.
Oh my god.
I'll be honest, hopefully alive, doing well. But particularly, I don't know, actually. I would say, I hope I do something creative, obviously, something that I like doing. But again, we live in a world where things that you want don't usually happen.
Yeah.
So I'll see how that goes.
This is a secret. No, well, I would like to be my own boss I would like to have something of my own, something that I created that is mine, something that is giving me flexibility and like working hours. So I don't really see myself in the 9 to 5 job working for in a big company, and I don't even know who I'm working for, you know.
I have no idea. Definitely doing something a little bit creative, where that be a little thing on the side or my main passion, but I don't want to make it my entire focal point, so it's still quite unclear to me.
I don't know. I honestly hope I can't predict it, because I want to be like, I never want to stay in one place for a long time.
I'm still trying to figure it out because like now I'm trying graphic design, but I don't really know if this is my path. So I would like to like work in art and dedicate myself to something related to art, but I'm not sure yet.
Actually, I really want to go into teaching, but I want to do it more maybe on either like on a very young level or on a very higher education level, because I think that's what I really am interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just feel like I've met a lot of good teachers along my way, and I would love to be a good teacher for someone else as well. Yeah.